Have you ever noticed how the quietest person in the room somehow commands the most respect? It's absolutely mind-blowing when you think about it. Silence literally sells better than words. Today I'm going to blow your mind with the psychological secrets behind why silent people are trusted more. But first, let me tell you about Sarah, a woman who transformed her entire career with one simple change. Sarah was that colleague who always had something to say, always jumping into conversations, always explaining herself. Her ideas were brilliant, her work was flawless, but somehow she never got promoted past middle management. Friends, write in the comments where you're watching us from, and hit like if you want to know what's most unexpected. Then Sarah discovered something that changed everything. She started speaking 30% less at work. Within 6 months, she was promoted to senior director, leading a team of 50 people. What Sarah stumbled upon is actually backed by decades of psychological research about human trust mechanisms. See, our brains are hardwired from prehistoric times, when survival depended on reading social cues correctly. Back then, the loudest person in the tribe wasn't necessarily the wisest. They were often the most desperate. The tribal leaders who survived were those who observed, listened, and spoke only when it truly mattered. This ancient programming still runs deep in our modern minds, even in boardrooms and coffee shops today. Dr. Robert Cialdini's research revealed that people associate talkativeness with insecurity and overcompensation for weakness. Think about it. When someone keeps explaining themselves, what's your first instinct? You start doubting them. But here's where it gets really fascinating. Silence triggers something called the competence assumption in our brains. We automatically assume that quiet people must know something we don't, otherwise they'd be talking more. It's like that friend who never posts on social media. You assume their life is so amazing they don't need validation. Hollywood has exploited this psychology for decades. Think Clint Eastwood, James Bond, or The Godfather's Vito Corleone. These characters speak maybe 10 sentences in entire movies, yet they dominate every scene they're in. But there's actually a darker side to this silence phenomenon that most people never consider. Manipulative people have learned to weaponize silence, using it to appear more trustworthy than they actually are. Psychopaths and narcissists often master the art of strategic silence to gain unearned trust and authority. This is why job interviews can be so misleading. The quiet candidate might just be better at playing the game. So how do you tell the difference between genuine wisdom and manipulative silence? Here are the key signs. Authentic silent people ask thoughtful questions when they do speak, showing they've been genuinely listening and processing. Fake silent people ask questions designed to make themselves look smart, or to gather information for personal gain. Real quiet wisdom comes with consistent actions that match values, not just impressive, mysterious silence. But here's what really shocked me when I researched this. Silence actually changes your brain chemistry. Studies show that people who practice intentional silence develop stronger neural pathways for emotional regulation and decision-making. This means that choosing to be quiet literally makes you more trustworthy over time, not just appear trustworthy. It's like going to the gym for your credibility. The more you practice restraint, the stronger it becomes. Now let's talk about the most powerful silence technique that billionaires and world leaders use in negotiations. It's called the comfortable pause, and it's absolutely devastating when used correctly in conversations and business deals. After someone makes you an offer or asks you a question, you pause for 3 to 5 seconds before responding. This pause accomplishes 3 psychological tricks simultaneously that most people never realize are happening to them. First, it signals that you're not desperate or eager, which immediately increases your perceived value in the interaction. Second, it forces the other person to sit with uncertainty, which makes them more likely to sweeten their offer. Third, it gives you time to think strategically instead of reacting emotionally, leading to better decisions. Warren Buffett is legendary for using 20-second pauses in billion-dollar negotiations, and it's earned him countless advantages. But here's the catch. This only works if you're genuinely comfortable with silence yourself. Most people are so uncomfortable with quiet moments that they'll sabotage their own negotiations by filling the space. This discomfort with silence is actually a modern phenomenon, created by constant digital stimulation and social media. Our ancestors were perfectly comfortable sitting quietly for hours, but we've trained ourselves to need constant input. Here's a practical exercise that will immediately increase your trustworthiness and personal power in any conversation. For the next week, practice counting to 3 before responding to any question or comment, no matter how simple. You'll be amazed at how differently people react to you when you break this habit of immediate response. They'll start treating you like you're wiser, more thoughtful, and more important than before you started this practice. But remember, silence without substance is just emptiness. You need to back it up with real value. The most trusted people combine strategic silence with deep knowledge, genuine empathy, and consistent integrity over time. So the next time you're in a meeting, on a date, or negotiating a deal, remember Sarah's transformation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is absolutely nothing at all, and let your presence speak volumes.